This is Let's Chew the Gum. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Let's Chew the Gum. I'm your host, Dr. K. Each time you tune in to Let's Chew the Gum, you can be sure of one thing. We always have
something for your mind. Something for your mind.
Diamond is a very important and special person to me. Most recently, she has been working in the field of film and media, not only as a former student, but also as a set designer, set decorator, craft services, makeup artist. She's a phenomenal artist overall, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about some of her art. We'll see. But for now, Diamond, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. Let me turn my volume down. You have a nice, strong voice. It's coming through strong. So I've been doing this launch today for Chat Black GPT, which I've been working with since December as a social justice historian, working with some of the historical aspects of it. And I think the whole team, the engineers, some of the everybody, we come together and have all contributed in many ways outside of our ordinary job roles. And there have been discussions about sociology, the influence on younger kids, younger generations. And I was mentioning that Black Barbie came out today, and you had a chance to watch it, right? And so
yes.
I happened to walk by when you were watching it, and I believe they were talking about a study that I'm familiar with, and that was the study where kids were given different dolls of different ethnic backgrounds. And if I'm not mistaken, that was on that show. And during that study, a lot of kids associated the mean doll with the black doll. They associated the ugly doll with the black doll. Am I correct? Was that a study they showed on Barbie?
Yes, that was a study. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I didn't get a chance to see it. So what is this Black Barbie? If you had to sum it up in words, what was it really all about? What's the purpose? Why should someone be interested in seeing something like Black Barbie?
Well, when Barbie first came out, it was already a big deal because before there was Barbie, there were dolls, but the dolls were always portrayed as babies, something to take care of. And, it was something for little girls to play with, but what can you do with a baby doll? All you can do is be its mommy. So when Barbie came out, it was like, oh, for little girls, I can be more than just a mom. I can be more than just a babysitter. I can be a doctor. I can be an astronaut. I can be a fashion designer. I can be a teacher. I can just be me. But there was no Black Barbie. When people think of Barbie, they think blonde hair, blue eyes, white pale skin. She represented what women could be, but she did not represent the Black woman.
Okay. And so was that something like, for example, when we talk about Chat Black GPT and the biases in AI, was that something that they're thinking was done on purpose, that there was no representation of dolls of different colors, or was it just they didn't think about it? I don't know.
It's from what I gathered from the documentary, it was nothing about race. It was just a new idea that they were experimenting with, and they didn't realize how far they could actually take it until someone who just happened to be a part of the team said, what if we had a Black Barbie? The creator of Barbie, Ruth Handler, was very hands-on with her workers. She always was looking for new ideas. She would literally ask the people working and building the toys, what do you think we should do? What would you like to see? What do you think would sell? What do you think the kids want? I forgot her name, but there was an employee who worked at the Mattel factory, and she was a young Black girl, and Ruth Handler asked her about Barbie and what she wanted to see. And this young lady said, well, I think it would be nice if we had a Black Barbie. And Ruth was totally open to it. She's like, well, we'll work on that. And eventually there was Black dolls being made, but they were not introduced as a Barbie. They were introduced as Barbie's friend. Her name was Christy, or there was Christy. We had, what was her name? There was Teresa. There were dolls with different names. They were the Barbie brand, but they weren't Barbie. They were just Barbie's friends. They were just someone you would see sometimes. They weren't the main character. They're not who you think of when you think of the name Barbie.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until the 80s that we officially, or not the 80s, I believe, yes, like the early 80s, they said, where we officially had Black Barbie. She was a Black woman. She had an afro. She had her the color of a Black woman, and her name was Barbie. She wasn't Barbie's friend. She wasn't the sidekick. She wasn't some background character. She was Barbie, and she just happened to also be Black.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I may be ignorant, but growing up, I saw all the different Barbies, construction. I don't know if it was construction Barbie, but different Barbies in different fields, right?
Right.
I always assumed that, and I guess they all had the name Barbie, but I always thought that they were different people. But what you're saying is that Barbie was Barbie. No matter if she was this Barbie or that Barbie, her name was still Barbie. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so that makes sense because I'm thinking, well, if it's a new person, then it's why would it be Barbie? It would be her friend. But the idea you're saying is
Right.
all those other Barbies we saw, no matter what their career field was, what they did, they were still Barbie. And
Right.
so I got it. It makes sense. Okay, it makes sense now. So like I'm like always thinking, well, so who cares? Why does that even matter? Like I don't believe that. I'm just kind of like trying to throw it out there because there was a question on that someone submitted to the show early on, and it said something to the effect of why is Juneteenth important? Why is it important to have culture and diversity in the age where we don't have racism? And I responded about, I'll be glad if there wasn't racism. I'd like to know where they live. They hadn't. I invited them to respond back, but they didn't. But I wanted to know where do you live where racism doesn't exist? That's a great thing. And is it that you don't experience racism because you're not a person of color, or are you a non-person of color and you just don't know? But anyway, I'm asking you, like, why does it matter if we have a Black Barbie or not? Why does it matter if we have representation in the realm of baby dolls in any way? Why does that matter?
Well, that's actually a great question because in the documentary, they do talk about how around the time Barbie came around, we were still in the civil rights movement. So Black women were still working as housemaids and house cooks, girls as young as 13 working in a white woman's house, cooking their food, watching their kids. All you could be as a Black woman was someone's maid, someone's worker, someone doing all the things that you wouldn't want to do. So the
Mhm.
idea of being a Black woman and actually getting to have a career that was cool and meaningful and passionate about was unheard of because it wasn't something that Black women were allowed to do.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you have this character, Barbie, she gets to wear pretty dresses, she gets to make all the money, she gets to be the number one girl, but she doesn't look like you. It's hard to see yourself as that because, of course, she gets to do it. She's a white girl. White girls get to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it, and I definitely understand that, and so I was asking that question because I wanted someone else to try to articulate that as opposed to me saying it because representation does matter, and as you said, if you don't see yourself in those realms, you're as you said, we're doing all these jobs that you don't want to do, but things you have to do, and sometimes they're demeaning, but yet in society you see so many other people thriving and making it happen and it seems like things just come to them and things go their way and they have access to the American dream, so to speak, but you don't. And in the toys and the representation of the toys you don't see that. So I think it was very important for people of color, Black people in general, when Black Barbie came out, and now they have Barbies of all ethnicities. I don't know if they're all represented, but multiple ethnicities. It's very important, especially for kids in that young stage, for them to be able to see it. As they say, if you see it, you can achieve it, right? If you see it, you can
Right.
believe it, and you believe it, you can achieve it. So, that was important. I can't wait to see that particular show, Black Barbie. I know you were trying hard to not give us any spoilers, and I'm glad you did because I want to see it. It's very interesting to me. And on that note, Barbie was interesting to me. I know a lot of people who didn't really particularly care for Barbie, but I thought it was great for me. I thought in terms of the showcasing of the existence, the legitimization of women as individuals, as thinkers, as power brokers, as decision makers. So I thought that was great. But that's a topic for another day. We could go down that road. But it's Juneteenth, and so I want to focus and stay focused on the topic of Juneteenth. We had the Chat Black GPT launch this evening in Virginia, and hopefully we're going to have a West Coast launch. I think later on this year. We'll see how that goes. And so we had a few guest speakers that have come on that you guys got a chance to see. They're in the tech industry. Some of our partners that have partnered with us. At the onset, if you missed it, we had our founder, Erin, was on discussing the importance of it, and she did a bit of a showcase on why does Chat Black GPT exist. Before you go, based upon all that we've talked about, is there anything that you want to share or leave our audience with?
Well, definitely when you have a chance, watch Black Barbie on Netflix. You think you know about Black Barbie, but then when you watch it, you really see how important it is, not just for Black girls and Black women, but Black people in general. It discusses some really important topics and issues, and the history behind it is actually really fascinating. So I definitely recommend it. It even made me emotional at one point. So definitely recommend that movie. And especially since it is Juneteenth, if you want something to watch with the family, or just feel like learning something new, watch it. Whether you were someone who grew up playing with Barbies or not, it's a very important, groundbreaking thing that has happened for Black people in the United States.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, man. I got to get you on the show more often. Like, you inspire me with your quotes. That's why I asked you. You always bring it, no matter when we go to any gatherings and whatnot. And when it's time to speak, man, you bring it. So, and you have something to say. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for chewing the gum with me on this topic. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, that was Diamond. And I think I'm going to have her as a frequent contributor to the show, because she really did bring some insightful and useful information. So thank you for everybody that's been on the show. Again, this is Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. Today's topic has been around the launch of Chat Black GPT, the new culturally informed AI that provides a perspective from an African American point of view. So when you get a chance, check out Chat Black GPT, download the app, go to the website, check it out. It's a great tool for researchers, for students, for folks in healthcare, for doctors that want to know more about their patients, anyone that is wanting to gain information and knowledge based upon a point of view that is unbiased towards African American individuals, which is where this was born from. All of the biases in AI that cause sometimes irreparable harm to individuals who are Black, the fact that AI models are not tested with Black people in mind, and oftentimes it's very Eurocentric. So we can see Chat Black GPT has some value for sure, but in our comparison, when we compare Chat Black GPT to Chat GPT, it was not even close with the amount of detailed, insightful, historical, contemporary information and data that was given, along with detailed examples and explanations. And then at the end of every one, there's always an offering of, without you even asking, here is further reading if you want to know more. So can't beat that. Well, folks, let me say this, that this has been a fantastic opportunity to engage with you on Juneteenth. We've been anticipating this day. I wish that some of you could have made it down to Virginia for the launch, or hopefully, like a lot of you, my associates, you were able to get into the wait list to be in the online portion of the launch. This is going to be big. This is already big. It was great to have it launch on Juneteenth. Chat Black GPT, culturally informed AI. We sat and had a great discussion with folks that sent in questions and comments regarding Chat Black GPT. And thank you to my guest Diamond, who came on and just had some great insight and some great gems related to the film Barbie and the historical context and importance of that. And you all got a chance to get some insights into some of the guest speakers that we have for the launch of Chat Black GPT in Virginia. Thank you so much to our founder, Erin. It was very much an honor to accept your offer to come on board with Chat Black GPT as a social justice historian. Thank you to all the team, behind the scene folks that you guys don't get to see, awesome folks that I get a chance to talk with and have gotten a chance to work with over the past few months. And I'm happy to be a part of it. Thank you, guys, so much. You are always the best part of Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. I thank you so much for always tuning in. I man, I can't say enough. I'm very appreciative of the episodes and seasons that you guys have just stuck with me, man. You send great questions all the time. You keep me on my toes. You keep the show going, and we appreciate it. I hope that all of you listening on either any of my Facebook pages or Twitch or Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on the On Watch TV website, onwatchtv.net. You can go there for the live streams, and we'll be live streaming more events, some concerts, some movies, some reality shows, cooking shows. We had a lot planned for On Watch TV this year and next. We just thank you so much. And if you have further questions or comments, or show topic ideas for Let's Chew the Gum, please email them to me at letschewthegum@gmail.com. And you know that I will respond, because I always do. If you don't know, ask somebody, because they know. Again, this podcast is listened to in over how many countries now? Oh my goodness, a lot of countries, 80, 90 countries around the world, maybe more. And we just appreciate the comments, all our folks from all over. I don't know if we've gotten anybody from Antarctica, but all other continents, we have listeners and viewers from the show. So thank you so much. You guys know what it is. Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z while we chew the gum. And remember, we always have
something for